Algebra 2 notes, 7.6 natural logarithms. All right, so then we can write it as natural log of y equals x. So that's just kind of a way to shortcut that logarithm base e of y. We can just put natural log. So on your calculator, you'll notice not only is there a log button for logarithms, there's also ln. Maybe I should write that as an L and make sure you know that's an L. So ln means natural log of y. Now it says we should find the inverse. Okay, the inverse, if I flip this around, would say y equals the natural log of x. Okay, that's going to be the inverse of the exponential function. All right, so let's look at example 5. If I have y equals e to the 5th, or I'm just going to flip it around and say e to the 5th equals y, what I can do is put this back into logarithmic form. Logarithm base e of y equals 5. But then every time I have a logarithm base e, I'm going to shortcut write that and just write natural log. So natural log of y equals 5. Okay. All right, vice versa, if you have the natural log of b equals 6, then b equals e to the 6th power, if you want to put it back into exponential form. Okay, because the natural log of b, that would just be log base e of b equals 6. So then e to the 6th must be b. All right, how are we going to simplify a natural log? So if I have the natural log of 7 plus 2 times the natural log of 5, all the rules are exactly the same as they were for logarithms. The only difference is instead of our log being base 3 or base 10, or this time our logarithm is base e, and again I shortcut write that as just natural log. Okay, so all my rules are the same. So if I want to combine this into a single logarithm, I can first change that 2 to 5 squared. Okay, from there I can simplify and then finally combine them. So since it's a plus, I can combine them by multiplying. Okay. All right, the next one, we have a 3 out front, so I'm going to make that an exponent, and a 2 is going to be our exponent. Be careful with this too, because we've got to do all of it to the 2nd power. So it's going to say natural log of x to the 3rd minus natural log of 2x all to the 2nd. So not just x to the 2nd, but 2 to the 2nd as well. All right, since it's subtraction, I can divide. If you want to simplify that, 2x squared and then finally we can simplify. So we can just rewrite it natural log of x over 4. All right, why don't you guys pause the video and try the last one. We should be able to simplify it to the natural log of 5x to the 3rd x squared. All right, if you have an inverse, they're going to undo each other. So we haven't talked a ton about this back in chapter 6. So if I take the natural log of e to the 4th, it's just going to be 4. Okay, if I take e to the natural log of 5, it's just going to be 5. So the natural log and e cancel each other out. Okay, so when I'm solving an equation, if I have the natural log of x and 2, in order to solve this, I can just raise both of these e to that power. Okay, just like you kind of saw in this example, if we have e to the natural log, we can just bring that x down. So we're going to get those to cancel. X equals e squared. So then on our calculator, we can figure out approximately what e squared is. about 7.39. Okay, for the second one, you first want to pull that exponent out front so that it's 2 times the natural log of 3x plus 5 equals 4. And then from there, we can divide, because you have to have that natural log isolated. Okay, now again, I can raise both sides e to that power. So we're going to get 3x plus 5 equals e squared. Okay, we want to get x by itself. So we need to subtract the 5 and divide by 3. Okay, so what does that equal? Make sure you use parentheses on the numerator. Should equal 0.796, approximately. All right, why don't you pause the video and try the third one. All right, your answer should have been x squared over 6, which is approximately 1.23. Okay, now what if you're given the e's and you want to undo those? Can't type those in our calculator. So for this next section, you're going to do the opposite and take the natural log of both sides. It's kind of like we take the logarithm of both sides if they don't have the same base. But we're going to take the natural log of both sides since we have that e. All right, so on the left side, the natural log and the e cancel. So we're left with x minus 2 equals natural log of 12. From there, we can just add the 2. Make sure you're in parentheses after the 12. So it should be approximately 4.48. All right, go ahead and pause the video and try the last two. All right, so you can check the last two. The only difference on the last two, notice before I ever took the natural log of both sides, I needed to isolate that e. So we needed to divide by 2 on this one. On the last one, we needed to subtract the 5. So just be careful if there's an extra step there. All right, your assignment is listed there at the bottom of the page. Go ahead and get started with that and try to have it done for class tomorrow.